The most important thing is not whether you are a robot or a human, but whether you have a heart. To live is to choose, and to choose is to risk. And even if you are just a machine, you can still have a soul. This quote is from, well, I don't know where. At first, I was certain it came from the film depicted on the thumbnail. Thanks for clicking that, by the way. Nevertheless, this quote encapsulates the theme of Time of Eve perfectly. Not only that, but it could potentially describe society in the next few years. Which begs the question, should we be worried about AI and robots crossing the line into emotionally invested human relationships, or embrace it with open arms? Hold on though, we're getting ahead of ourselves. You've probably never even heard of the movie I'm talking about. Hell, it came out in 2009, I was like 4, and the only reason I watched it was because it's currently a free movie on YouTube. Yep, seriously, definitely go give it a watch after this. But for now, I'll try my best to summarize. The story follows two best friends,
Rikuo
and Mizaki. In this futuristic world, technology has advanced far enough to allow companion robots which are there to help humans on their day-to-day. In this world, robots must operate on 3 strict laws. 1. A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to become harmed. 2. A robot must obey the orders given to it by a human being, except where such orders would conflict with Law 1. And 3. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. Sammy is the robot that belongs to the Sakisaka family. The beginning of the story also opens up with a conversation with 2 suspicious characters about the whereabouts of certain robots, but that isn't relevant until later. Now, the movie essentially revolves around this cafe. You see, in this world, human relationships with robots are becoming more frequent and more scrutinized by the media and the general public. But in this cafe that
Rikuo
and Mizaki choose to visit have a very special rule: not to discriminate between humans and androids. The only visible thing that distinguishes robots from humans is the halo over their heads, but in the cafe, discerning between humans and robots is nigh impossible. That's where I got this idea for this video. Initially, the 2 boys are confused and opposed to the idea of humans rubbing shoulders with robots as if they were friends. Outside the cafe, humans tend to treat robots terribly and take them for granted. Even
Rikuo
slowly though, the boys come to respect the rules of the cafe. A very impactful moment is when
Rikuo
own robot, Sammy's in the cafe. He sees her acting like a human, laughing, venting grievances. She even mentions that
Rikuo
might be upset seeing her here.
Rikuo
Can't come to terms with this. For him, it's almost a betrayal, a lie, a refusal of reality. I won't go further, but there are plenty of heavy moments later in the film. But the underlying question about the blurred lines between humans and robots are apparent. At what point do we empathize with a robot the same as a human, unlike a cow or a chicken which we kill for food? One of the arguments the film presents is that robots simply copy human emotion. They don't know true sadness nor joy, they simply know when to express these emotions due to watching humans. The movie clearly ends in support for human and robot relationships. But hold on, this isn't 10 years ago where we were watching Blade Runner, it's 2025. Now, social commentary isn't the norm on this channel, but as per my last video, I wanted to look at more social aspects through the lens of films. It's no mystery we're currently going through a loneliness epidemic. People have lost hope in finding a partner, dating's in a rough spot. People want and need companionship and seek it out any way they know how. You've seen the ads, chatbots, news reports, tragic stories. I'm not here to bore you with those, but for a genuine discussion. If a robot could be made with its own thoughts, personality, and could feel pain and empathize just like humans do, does such a robot deserve the same rights as a human? Such a question led me down a rabbit hole revolving around human rights laws and how they differ from animals. The reasons for human beings having more rights than animals comes down to a few common arguments. Speciesism, the belief that humans are inherently superior to animals, which is a key driver for moral anthropocentrism. That was a struggle. Second, moral community. Some argue that rights only have meaning within a moral community and that only humans live in a moral community. And third, capacity for ethical behavior. Some argue that humans have a moral sense because they can anticipate the consequences of their actions, make value judgments, and choose between alternative courses of action. There are others, but ain't nobody got time for that. Is this cherry picking? Maybe, but it's my video. Now, speciesism makes sense. Humans have built entire civilizations, created religions, and made structures that till this day are argued as physically impossible. Truly not a bad point. But the last two I might have a leg up. Morality principles, concerning the distinction between right and wrong or good and bad behavior. Moral community, a group of people who share a common set of values, beliefs, and norms. It could be argued, just like in Time of Eve, if a robot was programmed with a moral code, would that make them the most moral being on Earth? Think of the worst atrocities. All of them were caused by man. The thing about right and wrong is the classification is a product of people's environment. Some people truly believe violence is perfectly acceptable, where others may argue otherwise. The capacity for ethical behavior, which in my opinion is a very weak argument. Basically, humans are said to be able to anticipate the consequences of their actions, whereas animals cannot due to lack of consciousness. What about a soul? Don't even get me started on the many definitions across religion and culture, which is a philosophical question in itself, which is probably out of the scope for this video.
That's quite big.
So, is substituting human interaction and relationships with AI a good thing? Absolutely fucking not. That would be kind of bad. And we're already seeing the ramifications of that, right? Birth rates are declining like fucking crazy. The social media is basically a battle of the sexes. Everyone hates each other. Dating sucks. But whether we like it or not, AI is gonna become like a really, really big thing. So, and to be honest, capitalism dictates that, right? I mean, the AI model is very successful. People are losing jobs because of it. You go to like Dollarama, basically everything is self-checkout. So everything's gonna become more AI because it's profitable. And eventually that's going to be human relationships as well, because it's chat bots, people are paying for that. So I know apps that have AI therapy, right? So yeah.